What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Gabriel Show. Now listen, today I wanted to take the time and speak to you guys about a humbling experience in my life. If you listen to this story to its entirety, you will find the gems and you will apply it to your life. Long story short, don't let God humble you. You hear me? Don't let God humble you. God has humbled me. And I'm gonna give you guys a quick story. You see, before I was a nurse, I was working at McDonald's. I was making like $7 an hour. But with that money, I was able to make things work. I was getting about $200 a week. I was able to buy food. I was able to put gas in my car. I don't know how. I know in today's day and age with inflation, you can't make that work. But long story short, when I became a nurse, I inflated my lifestyle. There's something called lifestyle creep. Now let's talk about it. What is lifestyle creep? Lifestyle creep or lifestyle inflation is basically when you make more money, you essentially spend more money. That's what happened to me. So when I graduated, I became a nurse. I was like, all right, I'm getting to the bag. Life is good right now. Nobody can tell me nothing. I bought a BMW. I bought another BMW. I went on a whole bunch of trips. Nobody could tell me nothing. I maxed out my credit card. I didn't care. Basically, I fell into $250,000 worth of debt. And that's where I had to learn my lesson. So it had to take me living paycheck to paycheck, making six figures. Could you imagine? I know you heard of the articles of people who make six figures and living paycheck to paycheck. Well, that was me.
Really, nigga?
That's what happened to me. And it's a very humbling experience and embarrassing. Could you imagine giving your mom money and asking for it back the next day? Like, hey, Mom, I know I gave you $50, but I need gas.
Oh, Fritz, come on now.
And it got really bad.
You too broke.
I almost filed for bankruptcy. And that's something that people don't want to talk about, the reality. Because when you go on Instagram, life is good for everybody. But for me, it wasn't always good. I was depressed. I fell into financial anxiety. I did not know how. But God was teaching me something. God has humbled me. So I want to tell you guys what I did and how I changed my life and how I took the lessons to get me to where I am today. But I want to ask you guys something. Let's say you get a raise at your job, right? Let's say they give you a $10 raise. You was making $20 an hour, you're making $30 an hour. What do most people tend to do when they make more money? They spend more. So you're getting more money. You got that raise. You finally wanted that raise. Now you go ahead and you buy a nicer car. Now you go ahead, you buy a bigger house. Now you go ahead and you go on all these trips. And you know what's crazy about everything you just did? I don't even think you really did it for yourself. Because for me, I wasn't doing it for myself. I really wanted to flex. You see, being in my early 20s, making this money, with social media being huge as it is today as compared to the past, there's a lot of competition, right? You have people, 21-year-old making $1 million a year, all these things. And I just felt like, hey, I'm not worthy, so I have to show people I'm worthy. You start comparing yourself. You no longer become grateful for what you were praying for. And that's what happened to me. So I was trying to flex. I fell into all this debt just to show off. I was really keeping up with the Jonas. It was humbling. It was embarrassing. If you follow Dave Ramsey, I had to do his baby steps. And it took me 3 years, but I finally paid off all my debt. But within that time, I realized that when I was buying these objects, I wasn't really buying it for myself. I was buying it for people to show off, for likes. A lot of these trips, a lot of these things I bought, I didn't really like it. And I just want to give you guys an example of how you don't buy things with money. You actually buy things with your time. So let's say you want to buy a Louis Vuitton belt. Costs $1,000. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you're making $20 an hour. In order to buy that belt, if you work a complete 40-hour work week, it would be $800, right? Do the math with me, because I don't know if my math is mathing.
What's 9 plus 10?
You're making $20 an hour times 40 hours a week. Within that pay period, you'll get $800 within that week. You would have to work an overtime shift just to make over $1,000 to be able to afford that belt. You see, you're not buying things with money. You're buying these things with your time. You are trading your valuable time for stuff that don't even matter. That's what happened to me. When I bought these cars, when I went on all these trips, I fell into so much debt. It took me 3 years to pay off that debt, but guess what? Within those 3 years, within that time frame, my dad died. And I remember working an overtime shift before my dad died. And my dad was encouraging me to go to work, pay off this debt. He was pushing me. He's like, work, you can do it. But he didn't know he was gonna die the following week. Look, I also work in the ICU. I have a lot of patients who are rich, some who are poor. But you know what's crazy about the rich ones? They can't drop $100,000 for a new kidney. They can't drop $200,000 for a new heart. I mean, I don't know if they in the black market, but not at my hospital. You can't buy back your time. So if you're gonna spend your valuable time to buy these objects, these materialistic things that don't mean nothing, everything have an expiration date. Your car. The car I bought, it was a brand new BMW 2015. I went on Kelley Blue Books to check. My car is barely worth $10,000, but I bought it for about 40. Do you see how that's a depreciating asset? Do you see how that went down in value? And guess what? If I try to show off my car on Instagram, it's not gonna get no likes. People's gonna be like, that's not the latest. That's not the 2023. Boy. And now you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Joneses. Shoot, I'm black. You're keeping up with the Jeffersons. And you know what's another crazy example? Your phone. You're buying an iPhone. You want to upgrade your iPhone every year. You don't even need a new phone. But you're just getting it to keep up. Guys, God humbled me. Don't let him humble you. So let's say you're about to graduate. Let's say your income is about to double and you know it's about to double. I'd advise you to not make the same mistakes I made, because it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget to put yourself through that financial stress, that financial anxiety. I went through it. I almost filed for bankruptcy. I don't want you to have to go through, the same mistakes that I went through. Learn from my mistakes. That's the only reason why I decided to come here this morning and make this video. I want you to learn from my mistakes. Don't let God humble you. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be making that money and to be living paycheck to paycheck. It's embarrassing to show you what's behind the scenes. I wasn't always debt free. But you know what's crazy? I could have been debt free if I didn't get myself into the debt to begin with. So I don't know if you're in a position right now where you're already in debt. I want to encourage you to watch my other videos. I have some videos to show you guys how you can get out of debt. But that's not what the point is today. When you make more money, live below your means. You don't have to inflate your lifestyle. You don't have to change anything. If you were able to survive off of $50,000 a year and you start to make $100,000 a year, that doesn't mean now you need to start spending $100,000. That's not the case. Live within your means. Even better, live below your means. Invest the difference. Try that instead. Guys, if you find any value in this video so far, if you're entertained, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna be doing these videos every week, keeping you guys entertained, keeping you guys educated. Anyways, peace out. Also, don't change who you are. Sometimes people make more money, they automatically think they're better than somebody. Hey, we're all human, man. We're all just humans. You see, I have rich patients, poor patients. Their followers, their money, it couldn't do nothing for them. Listen, your own body can betray you. Your own body can betray you one day. You can wake up one day and boom, you have this terminal illness. But you know who's not going to betray you? God. God is not going to betray you. He's going to stay true. And I'm not trying to preach you today, but you need to stop valuing all this materialistic things in your life. Stop taking yourself so serious. We are fragile. So what you need to start doing right now is start being grateful for everything you have. And if you're going to ask God for more, please, 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 be wise, be a good steward with what you actually have. But anyways, that's my rant. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for staying tuned to watch this entire video. And don't forget, it's not in the budget.